What's up, YouTube? It's Pastor Bob. Well, a friend of mine says, Bob, you always do like low end, not very expensive watches. Do you even own any? And I kind of pissed off that they said that. Because I own a lot of watches, but I said, okay, all right. Well, sometimes, even that crowd you gotta please, right? So I'm gonna show you a high-end watch. I know I have in the past. I've shown you the workings of a high-end watch. And a nice custom watch that there's not very many of, but I figured, okay, they gotta see the thousands of dollars worth of watches, so I'm gonna show you one of my expensive watches that I love. Alright? Yeah, look at all those books in the back. The story of a watch company, TISSOT. Now, for people who don't know who TISSOT are, well, this is a part of the Swatch Group. Now, underneath the Swatch Group umbrella is Swatch. I'm sure you guys all heard of that. I'm sure you guys heard of the big dog, Omega, Longines, TISSOT. I think there's a few other companies. TISSOT is like the sister of an Omega. They make some high quality watches, Swiss watches. Now, not just that, but TISSOT and Omega have done things together, just like you guys see the new watch they came out with, Omega. It's got Omega's name on it and Swatch's name on it, and it's like some kind of plastic thing that they want $300 or $400 for, that they're selling for overseas for like $230. And I'm like, I am not buying a plastic watch for $400. That's not happening. I might eventually pick one up when they're cheap, but I've heard nothing but bad things about them. So, not happening if you're looking for a review on one of them. But TISSOT has been in business a long time. They make some really good watches. Well, they were one of the first to ever make sports car theme watches. So let me show you this. This is a TRAC. Okay. They only made a limited amount of these. I'll show you this up close so you can take a peek at it. And it's quite an amazing watch. It's heavy. It's very sophisticated. I'll take it off the car here. I'll show you. Now, good watches, if you look, they got really nice clasp on it, right? You push this in, this opens up. The steel is really well made. I mean, the links, the way that it adjusts is custom adjustment done on the inside right there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here, guys, so you can kind of see. There you go. Weather resistant. 100 meters. I mean, you don't need more than that, guys. Trust me. Has a real sapphire crystal. They've been in business since 1853. Just a really, really nice watch. And if you look, your band screws down in there. Now, this band is $60 to replace. So when you adjust it and you decide to cut it, because you have to if you buy one of these, see those spots right there? Well, you can cut those. And that's where you cut them. And if you look on the side there, that's where it hooks in. Because you only have 3 adjustments here. So you got to take that into consideration when you buy a watch like this. Okay? And it has the same thing on the other side. But just an absolutely phenomenal watch. Beautiful watch. I love this watch. One of my most favorite watches. Yep. Really, really super nice watch. Looks good. Keeps time great. I mean, so the big question is, I mean, the brand is, look, it speaks for itself. Somebody owns a TISSOT watch. They either know a little bit or somebody's taught them a little bit about watches. Because you're buying a nicely made Swiss watch. Swiss quartz watch, right? It's just the way it is. Now, how much do these sell for new? Are you sitting down? About $2,100. Now, some people say, well, that ain't too bad. No, it really isn't too bad. Finding them today, you might find one here and there. You might be able to pick some up for $2,100 brand new. From time to time, I've seen them anywhere from $500 to $1,500, depending on the condition. The biggest thing about having any kind of watches that are high end is you always want to keep your box and all your information. That's the really big thing. Make sure it's in a box, a TISSOT box. Most of the TISSOTs all come in boxes like this anyway, so if you don't, make sure you got a box. But this is one of my most favorite watches. I really like it. I enjoy it. It wears well. I think it's, I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think it's 42 or 44 millimeter. I can't remember offhand. But really, really, really nice watch. I like the yellow. I like the contrast of the dial. I mean, I've had this for a while now. So, when you want a high-end watch, you got to buy it from a reputable company. And TISSOT has been around for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, I believe it was TISSOT that made what I think they call it the banana watch. Like it looks like an Art Deco style watch. It's elongated, and the numbers and the letters are elongated. Really nice watch. You can look it up on YouTube. I'm sure they got something on it. But look, if you ever see a TISSOT watch and you can get one for a good price, look. You can't go wrong, You really can't. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I have a couple of TISSOT watches, but this is my favorite one. And they're not all expensive. Sometimes you can pick some TISSOT watches up for $300-$400, stuff like that. Once in a while, you might get a really good deal. You just have to keep your eye out. But remember, when there's high-end watches like this, okay, there are look, the Chinese copy a lot of stuff, guys. So you really got to know. You got to cross-reference the numbers. You got to open up the back. You got to look at the workings of it. Even if it's, an automatic, whether it's an automatic, self-wind, or a quartz movement, you got to look at it, because the Chinese are really, really good at copying watches. Now, this one is the real deal, but I'm just saying. So when you're going after any kind of watch, it don't matter what it is, whether you're trying to purchase a Rolex or an Omega, a TISSOT, a Tudor Black Bay, Hamilton, Longines. There's so many different companies out there. I mean, I could go on and on. Grand Seiko. I love Grand Seikos. I don't own one. Maybe one day I will, but that's my dream watch. You can pick up a Grand Quartz, but I want a Grand Seiko. That's what I want. for my collection. I'm not really a Rolex guy. I'd rather have a Grand Seiko. I think they did it. Look, they make phenomenal watches. Phenomenal. And the Grand Seikos are a hybrid watch. If you get a chance sometime, look one up. I mean, they can be very expensive, but they make beautiful, beautiful watches. And anything the Japanese do when it comes to watches, they do a great job. And Seiko's been in business a long, long time. You know, they got some great movements. I mean, like the N35 movement, right? The 35 is I think it's 34, 5, and 6. I think they got really nice movements. They have some, movements that they only have in some of their stuff. Now, even though it says Grand Seiko, they are a separate entity from Seiko themselves. Now, even though they're probably under the same umbrella, they are a separate entity. So I just want you guys to understand that. And yes, there are Grand Quartz, King Quartz. I mean, they have turtle watches. There's all kinds of watches that Seiko make. And they make really good, affordable, dependable watches. So I have nothing but good things to say about Seiko. I own, 5 or 6 Seikos, I think, maybe more. But, so it's really on you what you want, what makes you happy. When you get into investment grade, because this is an investment grade watch, you got to buy what makes you happy, Not all of us have $150,000, $200,000 to spend on a watch, I mean, there's watches, millions of dollars. And, not everybody has that kind of money. But, I mean, there's a price of diminishing return when you're buying just about anything these days. So, but, picking one of these up, look, great watch. I never had any problems with it. I mean, I'm sure that there's been a few that's been made that were, shite, but I haven't had any problems with it. Look, I did a review on a ESS watch with an automatic movement. Hey, it's made in China, but you know what? Chinese are getting better and better. And, contrary to what some people believe, Chinese bought out, I believe it was either 1 or 2 Swiss companies. So, they have the rights and patents to certain movements. So, it doesn't mean they didn't get the tooling along with it when they purchased the company. So, they're getting better and better with their technology and building, really reputable watches. I mean, some of them, I've seen a Rolex a friend of mine had bought, and it was a 4A, clone. I mean, you really, really got to know your stuff. I mean, even people see them every day. It's tough. It gets tough, tough, tough. I mean, so you got to be careful out there today. And so if you're going to purchase, a special watch for yourself to hand down from generation to generation, making it an heirloom, make sure you check out reputable companies, guys. It's, saving $500 on a watch and to find out it's fake, not worth it. It needs to, it's like having, cats or dogs. They need to have a pedigree in order to be, reputable, right? So do yourself a favor and, go to companies or people who that, resell watches, used watches, or even new watches if that's what you're looking for. Be careful. Make sure you deal with people that know a little bit about watches and do their research. That's what's important. And not always does the pawn shop know. So, I'm talking about guys who know watches. There's some people on YouTube you could probably watch that are really, really smart people when it comes to watches. one guy, he's a young guy. I think he lives in New York. His name's Teddy. I can't remember his last name. Is it Belshware or Vishaware? I don't know, whatever. But you have to forgive me. I can't remember his last name. But anyways, his first name's Teddy. He really knows a lot about watches, and you might want to go check out his YouTube channel about watches. He's really a pretty informative young man. So, anyways, I talked 15 minutes on a watch, so I just wanted to show you this, and I hope that my buddy who asked me to show one of my nice watches is now satisfied, which I know he won't be. And he'll say something stupid, and, once again, I'll have to prove my point. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this TISSOT watch. TRACs, they're kind of rare. You don't see them every day, so I wanted to show you one of my babies. So take care. God bless. This is Pastor Bob. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I'm out of here. See ya.